Excerpt from Encounter with the Unknown by Jason Greer. FBI evidence number 567HG4532X. In my many travels through the tombs of American government, I have encountered several souls who, though wholly terrestrial, could almost qualify as alien. Drab little paper pushers who spend their whole lives hoping for just one pure moment of adventure, one moment of honest fulfillment, which makes me sad for them, because that moment never comes. There are those in the FBI who do experience adventure. They are dedicated, hard-working souls who, when death comes, will be able to sit back and enjoy the ride. That is perhaps why the powers that be have decided to hide them in obscurity. Jealousy's a bitch, isn't it? In any case, only one of these dedicated soldiers was left standing as I wandered into the office of the FBI's Special Investigations Unit, Robert Halstead, Boy Ranger. J. Edgar Hoover Building. Hello? Halstead looked up from yet another disappointing Pop-Tart, doing his best to control his temper. He never wanted to kill, but the janitor was coming close to the mark. Can I help you, sir? Halstead saw a drab little man, tired, worn down, but still possessed of an untapped energy just waiting to come out. The man wore glasses, thick glasses, the kind of glasses that said a lot to Halstead's powers of observation. Is Special Agent Napoleon Hill in today? Halstead's face turned sad. No, sir. Agent Hill is no longer with the unit. Halstead got up, extending his hand. I'm Special Agent Robert Halstead. How may I assist you? Halstead, the man said, pulling out a tiny book, scanning several pages inside. Oh, Hill has told me about you. You devil. He started to laugh. Who are you? I'm Jason Greer. He paused. Perhaps you know me? Halstead paused, thinking. No. Should I? Greer frowned. Damn the video game generation. I'm the Jason Greer. Boy genius, writer, scholar, visionary, lover. Halstead's face remained blank. I did an infomercial for Aliens Among Us last month for PicFlix. Oh! Halstead beamed. At last, a home run, Greer giggled. Hill said you weren't much of a reader. He did. Halstead's features turned hard. Greer let out an ominous noise. Let me get to the point, then. Please. Greer pulled out a torn, ketchup-splattered piece of paper. I have here, Agent Halstead, the holy grail of UFO stories. I have here a missing chunk of the Roswell incident. With a dramatic flair, Greer placed the paper on Halstead's desk. Halstead munched on his Pop-Tart. The Roswell incident. Halstead mulled, reading the paper. Almost all accounts of the alien encounter back in 1947 have to do with the stories of a crashed saucer, or saucers, alien bodies, and a giant government cover-up. Yeah, I know the story, sir. No, Special Agent Halstead, you don't. Halstead stopped eating. What are you talking about? Greer pointed to his paper. I have conclusive proof that not one, not two, but 3 alien crafts were involved in this crash. There was a bomber pilot, whom I have interviewed, who has testified that the government overlooked this vital fact. He was the pilot who flew the alien bodies and the UFO to an airbase in Ohio. And? Agent Halstead, he swore that there was another piece of the alien craft that was, even in 1947, reported as missing. It was assumed by those in charge that the disaster had utterly destroyed the missing piece. This pilot said he knew several people who could testify that a fragment of the 3rd UFO had been spotted as a shooting star landing in the New Mexico desert, far away from the famous Brazil sheep ranch, far away from the alien crash, we know. Where is this man today? I'm afraid I received this information on his deathbed. He has passed. Right, Halstead said, exhaling. Thank you, Mr. Greer. Now, would you please leave? I have real work to do. There's a farmer in South Dakota who believes his pigs are being abducted and eaten by Bigfoot. Greer's eyes started to sparkle. Agent Halstead, are you a skeptic? Halstead started to squirm in his chair. Let me just say I think Elvis is dead. This doesn't grab you, Greer said, waving the paper in the air. Not at the moment, no. Don't get me wrong, sir. This story would be an SIU file, but a new angle on the Roswell crash is like the identity of the lone gunman at the grassy knoll. It's been done way too many times. Greer stood silently, looking down at his shoes. For a moment, Halstead felt a slight twinge of guilt. Greer genuinely appeared as if his feelings were hurt. I understand your doubts, Special Agent Halstead. Greer took the paper from Halstead's desk and placed it back in his coat pocket. For centuries, we all believed that Christopher Columbus discovered America. We were wrong. Then, to prove ourselves smart, we said it was the Vikings who discovered America. We were wrong there as well. Greer paused, taking off his glasses. Special Agent Halstead, do you want to be proven wrong about the Roswell incident? Or do you wish to be in on the discovery of a lifetime? Halstead started to point to the door, wanting to show Greer the way out. He caught sight of a newspaper clipping hanging on his office wall. The paper informed the world about the existence of vampires in Los Angeles. His thoughts turned to Napoleon Hill. He wondered what he would do. Okay, Mr. Greer, Halstead said, rolling his eyes. Show me what you got. Greer took a seat, letting out a joyous but slightly evil-sounding laugh. You will not be disappointed, Agent Halstead. May I call you Bobby? Not yet. There was an awkward pause. Fair enough. Greer started to unravel his paper, showing it to Halstead in a new light. About 6 weeks ago, a local sheep herder by the name of Oliver Henderson was found in the Roswell Desert, 16 miles outside the limits of the famous crash site. A sheep rancher. Halstead's face turned hard. Wasn't Brazel a sheep rancher? Yes. There still are a few ranchers left out there. Most have been bought out by big business, sold out, or just barely getting by. Sad. What has happened to the American farmers and ranchers, Agent Halstead? You do have a point with all this. Yes. He was found. Dead. Dead? Greer's face got close to Halstead's. As dead as losing 5 pints of blood can make you. He was murdered. Not necessarily. What do you mean by that? Greer reached into his coat pocket, producing a color photo. This is a picture of the man in question, Agent Halstead, Oliver Henderson. Please, tell me what you think. Was this a usual gang killing, or what? Halstead took the picture. The subject was an elderly man, showing signs of a straightforward and harsh lifestyle. It was evident to Halstead that Henderson had been a smoker of the old school. The telltale bag of tobacco lying innocently at Henderson's side in the picture proved that. This was no ordinary case of a man dying of a heart attack, or losing blood due to a terrible accident far from home. Something in the picture was missing. Blood. You said this man lost 5 pints of blood? Correct, sir. Greer placed his hands behind his back, reminding Halstead of a cross between Basil Rathbone and Mr. Spock. Where's all the blood, then? It is nowhere to be found, Agent Halstead. Greer took the picture from Halstead, whose eyes were starting to show minor interest. My sources inform me that this photo was taken by a funeral director at the Boulevard Funeral Home in Roswell as a fact of record for the sheriff's department. No blood was found on the site. How do you explain that? Obviously, the killer had some pump-like device, taking the blood with him as a trophy or a sign of power. Greer gave Halstead a look of disgust. There were no footprints except those belonging to Henderson, the funeral director, his assistant, and, of course, the horse. Horse? Yes, the horse was left, alive. Halstead paused, thinking. Why would the killer not take the horse? Perhaps the killer was a member of PETA or something. What's your theory? Halstead asked. Greer laughed, rubbing his hands together. I have come up with a profile. Henderson was a victim of a chupacabra. Halstead looked at Greer, doing his best not to burp up remnants of his Pop-Tart. You're serious? Oh, always, Greer chuckled. Think about it, Agent Halstead. When was the first reported sighting of a chupacabra in the press? 1947, Halstead guessed. About, Greer insisted, tapping on his map of the Roswell area. Aren't you on the wrong continent? I thought these things were only spotted in South America and Puerto Rico. Aliens get tired of their environment, Agent Halstead. Just like us, they want an adventure or two. Halstead picked up Greer's paper, studying it. Yes, but these chupacabras do not look like the aliens mentioned in the Roswell reports. As I understand it, these aliens are said to be gray-skinned, with fangs, red eyes, and distinctive spinal quills. Consider this, Agent Halstead, Greer said. In every intelligent society, there have always been those who do the dirty work, who are more violent, cruder, because of their station in life. Perhaps these chupacabras are nothing more than second-class citizens in an alien utopia? You're grasping at straws here, Mr. Greer. Just a surmise, Agent Halstead. Halstead studied the evidence. I'm heading out to Roswell now, Greer bragged. There are many people there who have read my works and wish me to share my creative genius with them. You have been asked to investigate this case? Halstead asked, impressed. No. I've been invited to do a book signing. Halstead expressed a flash of disappointment. Come with me, Halstead, Greer insisted. You're a skeptic, someone who is not trying to profit or raise himself up by these events. You are the sane voice in a world proclaiming that the sky is falling. Halstead wanted to say no, but there was desperation in Greer's eyes that seemed to pull at him. Okay, I'll open a file on this, Halstead said, silently directing Greer to hand his photo of Oliver Henderson back to him. Great, Greer laughed. Road trip. Halstead later regretted his decision.